All plants and animals are made up of cells. It is easy to take a few cells from these organisms without harming them. If you look at them under a microscope, you will see that most cells have a nucleus. You can think of the nucleus as a recipe book containing all the recipes needed to make the different bits of an organism. A human cell nucleus will have recipes for things like nose shape, eye colour, and hair colour. A rose cell nucleus will have recipes for things like petal colour and leaf shape. A sheep cell nucleus will have wool and hoof recipes. A recipe book containing the instructions to make your entire body can be found in most of the cells in your body. Each recipe is called a gene. The recipes, or genes, are written in a coded sequence of 4 different chemicals that are joined to each other in long strands called DNA. Each gene is a section of DNA, too small to see. When hundreds of genes twist and coil up with each other inside the cell nucleus, you can sometimes detect that with a microscope. The coiled up genes are like the chapters in a recipe book. They are called chromosomes, and most human cells will contain 46 of them. You can think about it as 46 chapters. Genes provide instructions, telling the cells how to make things. Different cells will decode different genes. A rose's petal cell with the gene for pink petals is instructed to make its pink colour. A sheep's hair follicle cell with the gene for curly wool is instructed to make wool twist. Scientists have worked out what some of the genes tell the cells to make. Different species have genes for different characteristics, but the genes for all organisms are written in the same DNA code. Scientists have found ways of cutting genes out from one cell and putting them into another. They can mix up genes from different individuals. And because all organisms use the same DNA code, they can mix up genes from different species. We call this mixing up of genes genetic modification, or genetic engineering. Roses do not normally have genes for blue petals, but scientists found the gene for blue petals in a blue flower. By cutting it out and putting it into a rose cell, scientists grew a blue rose. Genes from bacteria are being added to plant cells to make crops that are resistant to pests. A gene from a jellyfish was inserted into a rabbit cell to make it glow. Diabetic people cannot make enough insulin to control the sugar level in their blood. Scientists discovered the gene for making insulin in the DNA of someone without diabetes. They inserted it into a bacteria cell. When the bacteria multiplied, the scientists could then extract human insulin from genetically modified bacteria to give to diabetics who can't make it themselves. Even though we can't see them, genes for many different characteristics have been discovered in lots of different plants and animals. Moving genes around offers possibilities for treatment of diseases and for producing organisms with particular characteristics.